on LAPD's Pacific Division's most wanted list. I'm at my apartment before I lose it, and it's midday, and I'm just finished taking a shower. A couple buddies are there, and so hear a knock on the door. That's not like not a hand, it's something hard, like a flashlight. Everybody knows that sound. And so hear the knock on the door. My buddies come get me. They're like, "Hey, I think the cops are at the door." So I go, okay, I'm on probation at that point in time. So I go to the door and look through the people. It's a couple of cops. One's by the door, one's down farther the hallway. And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And they were like, "Yeah, we're here for a noise complaint." And I'm like, I wasn't even playing any music. And I'm like, "Okay, what's up?" And they're like, "We have to give you this card." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, cool, man. You just slide it in the door. I just got out the shower." And they're like, "Oh no, we have to give this card to you." And I'm like, "Well, man, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sitting here butt naked, man. Like I just got out the shower." And so this is playing over like maybe like 5 minutes, like almost 10 minutes. And so, it's in the back of my mind. It's like I'm on probation and I'm supposed to comply. Like I can't not comply. That'd be a violation. So eventually I'm like, okay, I got to open the door. So I'm sitting there just going at it with them. And like they won't slide on the door. So I get them. I'm like, okay. I crack the door like maybe 6 inches, not even 6 inches. I'm like, okay, hey, what's up? Hand me the card. And the guy's like, "Oh, well, did you get out? Did you have any clothes on, man? Did you get out the shower?" And I had some boxers on, some white polo Ralph Lauren boxers. And I was like, "Yeah, I got some boxers on." And so I crack it from like 6 inches to maybe like not even a foot. And as I do that, just to kind of show him I had some boxers on, the guy by the door says, "Good, we got a warrant," and slams his shoulder into the door. And like I'm spun out, I'm high as the kite. And so I instantly just like have my shoulder back into the door. And so I literally have like this like push of war, not like a tug of war, but like a push of war with the door with this cop, man. And I'm spun out of my mind. So I'm winning. I'm closing the door on this dude. But it starts bowing out. And as it bows out, once they get close to closing, I see at the bottom, he's got his boot is inside the threshold. And so I knew like the door's not going to close.
Right.
By that point in time, my buddies had bailed off the patio. And so like it was all in slow motion. I like stop and I turn and I see the patio with a curtain and like the light coming from behind the patio. And I swear I heard this sound like I'm like, all right, shit, man, I'm going. And so I gave myself a count. I'm like, all right, on 3, man, just go. So I was like 1, 2, 3, like took it and broke. And it's like a straight shot through the hallway and then straight through the living room. And then the patio was like almost lined up with the front door. So I just start beelining it through the apartment. And I can feel this dude, like door slams open. I can feel this dude behind me and get through the living room. And I get towards the curtain, to the patio. And so I'm like, I got no time. So I literally like swim move the curtain and just Superman it off the patio.
I mean, they walk him into the police car and the police reporters were running up to the car, like putting the mic, like, "How did you get out of the jail? How did you get out of the jail?" And I was like, "They let me out. They let me out." So I'm sitting there. I know the charges, and I'm like, it's over. Like this is it. And 2 detectives came. They came and they opened the cell and they was like, "You know what we're here for, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I know exactly why I'm here." They were like, "Well, tell us who did it." I said, "They getting in trouble?" They was like, "Probably not."
Are they getting in trouble?
Yeah, but they ain't talking about the case. They talking about who let me out the jail.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So I'm like, they getting it. He was like, "Nah, they probably just gonna lose their job. They not gonna get charged or nothing."
Yeah,
I said, "Well, if anybody gonna get charged, then if I can't get somebody in trouble with me right now, I'm trying to take whoever down at this point." Nah, I said, "There's nobody let me out." They put an emergency transfer on me, and I ended up getting moved to West High. I get there, and I asked the lady, I said, "Do you know Christopher Williams?" She said, "Oh, he in the unit you going in." She said, "How you know him?" I said, "That's my daddy brother. It's my uncle." I just left with my dad and my brother, left him with my dad, and now I'm down here with my daddy brother who got 75 years for kidnapping.
Jesus.
I go over to the cell. Hair grew out on his face. My uncle ain't seen me since I was a kid. And so I knock on the door. He come to the door. He was like, "What's up?" I said, "Man, what's up?" He just looking. I said, "You know who I am?" He squinting his eyes. He said, "Tommy?" That's what he called my daddy. I was like, "Nah." I was like, "It's nephew. It's Boo." He was like, "Nephew?" He said, "You still a gang member?" was like, that's the first question. He was like, you still a gang member? I was like, nah. He said, go look, check this out. He said, because I don't got nothing going on. I ain't in that life no more. I don't condone that. He said, if you want to get on the right path, I can help you. I can help you get your job down here. I'm like, what? Hold on. We ain't even caught up or nothing. You don't know why I'm here. What's going on? How you doing? Nothing. And he was like, the path that I'm on, if it's other than that, he was like, man, I can't. And I was like, nah, I've been out of GD. He was like, well, you do hustling? I was like, yeah, but I really
I just got here. Give me a chance.
I know. I was like, dang. So they put me in this corner cell with my uncle best friend, which is Dip, which he was in the word too. And over time, I was just like, man, I got parole here and that coming up, and I'm thinking, man, let me figure to see how this work. And bro, I went up for parole, trying to do it right. I had been going to the church, it's kind of switched it up, really playing with God in a sense. I'm thinking, you know, I can be performative and he can bless me. And I had like a year and some change, almost 2 years left, because they had denied me 2 times already. First time they put me out for 3 years, second time they put me out 2. I'm thinking, I'm going to get it this time. Like, come on, I took all the programs. I ain't had no write-ups, like I'm cool. And man, I went up there and wasn't in there 15 seconds. The man leaned over.
Break into rich people's homes. And all of a sudden, I hear a man's voice say, hey, what are you doing? And I turn around and there's a man in the doorway. He was big as hell. I mean, he was like the whole door frame. So I was like, oh shit. And I promise you, I don't know where this came from, but I was like, I'm a juvenile. Don't touch me. I'm a juvenile. I put my hands up because I wanted to startle him. I turned around and I bolted out the window. When I bolted out the window, I ran, I jumped the fence. I get into my car. You know, I was like really athletic. I was jumping fences, parkour. And then I get in the car. When I get in the car, I start to drive off and I look over my purse and I'm like, the probation papers with my name and my address and my birth date and like everything else. Just here we are. Come get me. Are on this guy's dresser. So at this point I was like, okay, I have to make a decision. There's like a 50-50 shot. And I always tell this part of the story with this because I remember having this conversation with myself so well. Like I had this conversation with myself and it was in detail. Like there was 2 people. I was like, okay, Jen, you can go back and there's a 50-50 shot of getting caught. He can walk in on you and tackle you to the ground. But there's also a 50-50 chance you could get out scot-free and be done. So, you know,
there's a 100% chance that you're going to jail if you don't.
Right. So I was like, I'm going to take the 50-50.
Yeah.
The 100% is not looking good. I'm taking the 50-50. So I jumped the neighbor's fence, trying to kind of hear and gauge what was going on. And that's when I heard him outside and I jumped his fence and went back in through the broken window. But when I went back out of his house, that as I think I'm about to get away and hurdle my last fence, I get tackled to the ground and then he hit on me and then he held my arms till the police came. So I ended up getting sentenced to 2 years of community control without the monitor.
Oh, no,
and
you need jail time. You're a menace.
I did. I'm not going to lie, I did. So I ended up getting sentenced to the Phoenix House, which is a rehab in Ocala, Florida. I graduated that program. I met my son's father. I met a guy. And when I met this guy, he's a very nice guy, good family, never been in trouble, never been arrested. He just thought I was super exciting, a lot of fun. I think I was to him kind of like what the Russian was to me,
right?
Because I was like exciting and something so different than he had ever dated. His parents are like mega, very, very, very well off. They have a huge business, metal business, and just a good guy. You know, went to college, just all around good, clean cut guy. I met him and things were all right for a little while. He didn't know anything about my life. He didn't know how I ended up in that city. I told him I was there for a change of scenery, just change of pace, wanted to slow it down a bit, come here and go to school because I'd enrolled in the community college just to do something while I was there. But I relapsed again. Now I've like kind of, you know, fine-tuned the burglaries. I know what I'm doing now. So now I'm in a whole new town, a whole new stomping ground with new homes, more rich people, and I've fine-tuned all the things that didn't work the first go round, like leaving my probation papers on someone's desk, you know? So now I've fine-tuned everything regarding my career, criminal lifestyle, and I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go back to what I do best.